Hello, greetings. Welcome to Attaining the Second Cognition. This is Doug Michael. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking your time to listen, to spend time with me. I greatly appreciate it. Big shout out to all my new subscribers and to the ones that have been with me from the start. Your interest in this information is greatly appreciated. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard us present the information about the linkage between the Fabian Society, Theosophy, and the Lucis Trust. There are many Christian researchers who have discovered that the Lucis Trust is behind pushing their one world religious doctrine and how they have been using the United Nations to push this religious homogenization doctrine forward. For all intents and purposes, the United Nations organization is a creation of the Fabian Socialists, and Alice Bailey and her Lucis Trust organization were very instrumental in creating the United Nations. In all truth, you could say that the United Nations is where the globalist Fabian Aryan agenda and the theosophical agenda meet. You can't separate Fabianism from Theosophy because one sprang from the other. The topic of this discussion is Lucis Trust and energetic manipulation. We reported how the Fabian Society was the brainchild of the Society for Psychical Research, which was founded in 1882. The Fabian Society was created in 1884, 2 years after the SPR was created by Aryan financiers, Marxist social reformers, and theosophists like Helena Blavatsky. The SPR was the nexus point where the spiritualists of Theosophy met supporting scientists and academics to ultimately create the Fabian Society. The original logo of the Fabian Society is the wolf in sheep's clothing. Many conspiracy researchers have reached the conclusion that the wolf of Fabianism is wrapped in the sheep's clothing of deception. Through our own extensive research, we have found no one that has correctly interpreted what the logo means, but we're going to share that interpretation with the public in this video. And I'm sure we'll piss off people, as we seem to have a knack for doing. The religious researchers, usually paranoid Christians who are seeking to protect their own religious beliefs, see the threat of modern universalist spirituality and theosophy as being the spiritual heart of the United Nations. Political and conspiracy researchers see the subversive and deceptive practices of the Fabian Society agenda personified in the UN organization. Apparently, no one else, at least that we've discovered, has really put the pieces together that Fabianism and Theosophy are both working with and for the same global agenda. The sheep's clothing of the Fabian agenda is not about a form of political deception entirely. The sheep's clothing represents the smarmy love and light doctrines of the inorganics being peddled by the Theosophical Society and its organizational cousins all around the planet. The wolf is the ravening political agenda laying hidden beneath the love and light doctrines of the World Goodwill organizations created by Alice Bailey and the Lucis Trust, supported by the United Nations, which is one of the premier spiritual propaganda mills on the planet. This is the true meaning of the Fabian logo. The sheep's clothing represents the bullshit spiritual doctrines formulated by the inorganic ascended masters 6,000 years ago, which has been dragged into the modern era at the hand of Lucis Trust, the real sheep's clothing of the Aryan global agenda for world domination. I am providing links in the description section below that shows some of the structure of the Lucis Trust spiritual spiderweb that covers the globe. The first link gives an overview of the structure of the Lucis Trust monster. If you click on Other Education in the link, it will take you to the second page, also provided for your convenience in the description section, showing that Lucis Trust has 30,747 subchapters within the trust that covers everything from think tanks analyzing economic and political systems to the World Goodwill Organization. I ask my viewers to take note of the fact that every one of these more than 30,000 alleged educational organizations is given tax-free status in every country they reside. That's one hell of a propaganda network, ladies and gentlemen. Can you get your head around the coordination it takes to organize and run almost 31,000 tax-exempt educational organizations worldwide? Lucis Trust is the fucking clearinghouse for every bit of Fabian and theosophical tyranny worldwide. Through these diversified think tanks, ashrams, meditation triangles, organized mass meditative sessions and festivals, the Fabian agenda goes unnoticed behind the sheep's clothing of the entire global agenda to create a unified, inorganic world religion, what the Lucis Trust and their theosophical associates vaguely refer to as the Plan in all of their spiritual writings, allegedly promoting world peace and spiritual dependency on the divine hierarchy of ascended masters. What the plan of the Lucis Trust organization is amounts to the total subjugation of human consciousness and establishing a world government hiding behind the smarmy teachings about the brotherhood of man, world peace, and the inorganic bullshit ideas about spirituality. We have stated on many occasions about the energetic war taking place behind the scenes on this planet, but we've not previously provided a lot of details in regard to what we mean by that. This presentation is going to teach those wise enough to see the picture exactly how this war has been waged against humanity by the inorganic hive and the ancient Anunnaki gods for 6,000 years. The Lucis Trust and the Theosophical Society organizations worldwide are the perpetrators of most of this energetic tyranny at the present time. Energy is just energy until someone harnesses that energy through intent to make the energy do something. Endall and Gemma use the term programming energy to describe this type of manipulating of energy. In more ancient times, such energetic programming was called magic. For all intents and purposes, programming energy and magic mean the same thing. For 6,000 years on this planet, the priesthoods worldwide were the magicians. They were the energy programmers, the magical adepts. They still are to this day in every religion worldwide, and there are no religions who are exempt from such energetic manipulation. None. Every religion has designed rituals in their religions which are nothing more than energy harnesses to cultivate and harness human energies to either strengthen their own institutional tyranny or to use these freely given energies for other more nefarious purposes. The intent of this video is to expose this tyrannical magic used against humanity for roughly 6,000 years, and it does not paint a pretty picture. Within religions of all kinds, you will find mass prayer being used, hymn singing, sacrifices, baptism, ritual washing, kneeling, bowing, catechisms, and other processes designed to make its followers give up their energies willingly, never knowing how these mass energies are being collected or what they're being used for. Every religion and spiritual doctrine on the planet professes some type of holy or divine reverence for these practices, always hiding behind the mask of some benevolent purpose to harness the energies of the believers. Naturally, the priests, Brahmins, imams, and gurus can't tell you the truth about what they're doing when you freely give up your energies through these practices, or you would tell them to go fuck themselves and probably want to lynch them for their perfidy. So all of these alleged inorganic spiritual practices hide behind the smarmy sheep's clothing of spirituality, when in every case there is a rabid wolf stealing your personal energies through spiritual deception and using those energies in turn to enslave you and all of the human race through programmed energetic manipulation. We're going to focus particularly on the Lucis Trust brand of magical energetic abuse to highlight this information for you. You have to remember that energy is just energy. When you can convince a mass of people to freely give up their energies through spiritual or religious practices, it is almost like filling up an energetic gas tank. Once that gas tank is full, those energies can in turn be redirected and reshaped to do something completely opposite of what those who give up their energies believe they are doing. One of the greatest harvesting of energies for ill purposes was the harmonic convergence of 1987, which entailed a global focus to allegedly set the stage for 25 years of peace leading up to the mystical Mayan calendar prophetic fulfillment, which we all know was a total bust. The man responsible for the Mayan fallacy was Jose Arguese, an operative of the Theosophical Society who peddled this idea to the world in his book, The Mayan Factor. During the 2 to 3 days of the harmonic convergence, people worldwide were invited to meditate and put their energies into the idea of world peace. This formulated act of energy theft was so popularized by the Fabian Theosophical Network that even Johnny Carson had his TV audience chanting Om during one airing of his show. Now ask yourself this question: with all of the meditating and praying for world peace over the last 29 years, has the world become more peaceful? No. In fact, quite the opposite is true, as the world teeters on the brink of World War III. A quick review of history proves that there was no world peace wrought by such meditative chicanery, but what we have seen is the destruction of the Middle East by the Bush administrations, the Bosnian conflict, and the displacement of Muslims from their war-torn countries into Europe. These wars were not simply happenstance. I will suggest that the energies harvested during the harmonic convergence were redirected to give energetic impetus to these wars, as well as to boost the propaganda mill of the Theosophists to launch the New Age movement. It is the energies harvested through deceptive practices of seeking world peace during the harmonic convergence and the reshaping of these energies through programming them for nefarious purposes that something that appeared to be a good thing on its face was turned into energetic tyranny. This is how energetic magic works, ladies and gentlemen. You may initially disagree with this concept, but the consortium knows all about this type of energetic manipulation, and they are banking on you being ignorant of this practice. Magic, or the manipulation and redirection of energies, is very real, folks. I am posting another link by the Lucis Trust in what they call triangles. The triangles are an invitation for people in different parts of the world to establish triangles and choose times for concurrent meditation sessions in order to push the energetic agenda of the inorganic mafia, all hiding behind the mask of love and light. If you can perceive thousands of these meditation triangles circling the globe, then you could start to see an energetic spider's web being built around the planet to harness and impair human consciousness. This is part of the hidden, inorganic, energetic network of tyranny hiding behind the smug mask of spirituality. Lucis Trust and its 30,747 subdivisions are also involved in many other types of energy harnessing for their nefarious Fabian globalist agenda of tyranny. I am posting a few more links where they have created meditations on the full moon to better harness energies. They have another mass meditation event they call the Wesak Festival, where they drag in the theosophical version of Buddhism to capture lunar energies in an annual meditation festival. There is also a link for meditation festivals for letting in the light. I ask my listeners to view this link and notice the prayer or invocation used in this particular ceremony to further the agenda of the inorganic hierarchy. The Lucis Trust organizations are big on the usage of what they call the Great Invocation, as well as their festivals and practices being filled with meditative prayers or mantras. Every one of these invocations, prayers, or mantras is nothing more than energetic programs, magic spells, to harness not only the energies of the individual and collective participants, but to create inorganic, energetic harnesses on their consciousness every time they recite them. Despite what appear to be doctrines of love, light, planetary harmony, or goodwill, every fucking one of these incantations is a magical spell, ladies and gentlemen. The energies harnessed through every one of these practices and festivals gets converted and twisted to fulfill the inorganic and Aryan consortium agenda. Here again, you see the ravening wolf in sheep's clothing. This is the true nature of the energetic war. This is the real hidden tyranny hiding behind the smiley, feel-good doctrines of modern spirituality. This is the hidden energetic tyranny behind every religion ever created by Enki, Ninhursag, and the inorganic Cosa Nostra, and this is the sheep's clothing that has been hiding this tyranny in all its forms for 6,000 years. Every time you bend your knees in prayer to your God, you are giving up your power to an unseen tyranny. Every time you make a sacrifice to the gods or pay tithes to your churches, provide homage in your mosques, bob and sway in front of the Wailing Wall, or perform esoteric practices and rituals, you are willingly giving up your personal power to these inorganic consortium tyrants in one form or another. You are paying for your own energetic enslavement by willingly performing all of these practices. Whether you are a Mormon wearing your magical underwear, a lower degree Freemason participating in lodge rituals, a practitioner of Wicca, spiritual yoga, performing Reiki, or the multitude of other spiritual practices, you are giving up your energies to hollow beliefs created by the consortium and the inorganic mobsters, all designed to entice you to willingly give up your personal energies to fuel their tyrannical agenda. The word adept is defined as one who is very skilled or proficient at something. So let's put the word adept in the Masonic context under the spotlight. Albert Pike, the Confederate general who perfected Scottish Rite Freemasonry, stated categorically in his Freemasonic manual, Morals and Dogma, that the adepts are the princes of Freemasonry. He also stated that the blind force of the people is a force that must be economized and also managed. Given what I have explained so far in this video about people willingly and ignorantly giving up their personal power to deceptive beliefs and practices, then I think my listeners can understand what Pike meant by the blind force of the people. Pike also wrote that force unregulated or ill-regulated is not only wasted in the void like that of gunpowder burned in the open air and steam unconfined by science. Here again we find the energetic force needed to be harnessed as science harnessed steam power or used contained gunpowder to gain the greatest effect from the force of the people. The force of the people is your personal energies that you willingly give up in your ignorance and belief in their systems of belief. Pike also fully reveals what has become the Theosophical Fabian agenda to be perpetrated through energetic warfare when he wrote, "When all these forces are combined and guided by the intellect and regulated by the rule of right and justice and of combined and systematic movement and effort, the great revolution prepared for by the ages will begin to march." The great revolution prepared for by the ages is the inorganic ascended master and consortium agenda to subjugate all of humanity through harnessing and redirecting human energies to drive their tyrannical plan. If you think I'm reaching in this assessment that a Freemasonic adept is in fact an energy programmer or magician at manipulating energies, Manly P. Hall freely admitted in The Lost Keys of Freemasonry on page 124, when the Mason learns that the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands, and before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly handle energy. The dynamo of living power is the energies you give up when practicing any particular religious or spiritual ritual. All of humanity provides this living power through their ignorance and misdirected beliefs in their religions and their gods. The energetic adept knows how to harness this dynamo of living energy and redirect it into the channels of their own desires. In the case of the global tyranny, all of these energies are focused on subjugating all of humanity. To move into the higher ranks of Freemasonry, the inner court, or any other system of initiation, one must eventually give up any moral compunctions or conscience in order to gain access to alleged high magic. As Manly Hall reveals, it is gaining access to learn the ability to properly handle energy that all high-level adepts, through any initiatory rites, entails. This is the great secret of the ancient mystery schools and the greatest secret of Masonry and high-level theosophical energy programming. Energy manipulation is the pinnacle of earthly magical desires, and it is the hidden weapon that the consortium uses day in and day out to tyrannize humanity as a whole. This is the real basis of the energetic war against humanity that we have referred to in many of our videos. For those who may be operating under the misconception that there is a major separation between Fabian Theosophy and Freemasonry, Alice Bailey's husband, Foster Bailey, was a high-ranking Freemason. Bailey wrote extensively about the role of Freemasonry in fulfilling the divine plan of the inorganic mobsters, so all of these ancient alleged mystery traditions spawned by Ninhursag and the inorganics are coming to fruition through the Lucis Trust organization. Lucis Trust is using a lot of energetic magic based on Ninhursag's connections with Sirius, the constellation Virgo, and the numbers associated with Ninhursag's magic, 3, 5, 6, and 7. They hold some of their festivals in 3-year intervals and others in 5 or 7-year intervals. They are holding Virgo festivals on September 15th and 16th of this year to illustrate just one more Ninhursag Mother Goddess connection, and every bit of these festivals is designed to harness and redirect the force of the people, the dynamo of living power, and redirect those energies against all of humanity to fulfill the inorganic agenda for world domination. One definition of magic is using energy to create results at a distance. I am providing a 48-minute video in the description section below, and I ask all those sincere researchers to take the time to watch this video in light of the information shared here and see just exactly how energetic programming has worked throughout the ages. For decades, people have been searching for the hidden hand, the alleged shadow government that stands as the stage directors behind the puppet show governments of the world. This shadow government at the present time, ladies and gentlemen, is the Lucis Trust organizations worldwide. They are the tyrants behind the scenes manipulating world affairs so humanity can only see the illusions they project in the world stage. The Lucis Trust and its alleged charitable organizations, including the United Nations, is the hidden tyranny that manipulates the world behind the scenes. The directors and agents of their 30,747 tax-exempt foundations, charities, and think tanks are where you will find the agents of human destruction, the real hidden hand of tyranny. Beneath these 30,747 tax-exempt organizations of tyranny, you can bet there are even more subdivisions beneath some of those umbrella charities, so the number of institutions is vast indeed. It is a vast octopus spreading its slimy tentacles all over the world. It is through the links with ancient secret societies and more modern ones like the Freemasons, Rosicrucians, Theosophy, ashrams, yoga masters, gurus, political propagandists, and Fabian, Aryan, corporate, and banking institutions worldwide that you will find the consortium, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know who the real global tyrants are, not just the frontline puppets like George Soros and others, then you have to investigate the leadership of the Lucis Trust organizations to find the real hidden hand, the real movers and shakers behind the inexorable consortium march to global tyranny formulated and driven by the ascended asshole hierarchy. It is within the interlinking consortium Aryan hierarchy on this planet that you will find the real magicians, the real Masonic, theosophical, and priestly adepts who control humanity through professing bullshit ideas about brotherhood, world unity, world goodwill, inorganic brands of spirituality, religion, and divine subservience. It is the heads of the Lucis Trust spiderweb, the directors of their think tanks, their energetically adept Masonic brethren, priests, proselytes, mediums, and gurus who are the real enemies of all humanity. It is they who steal your power while wearing their spiritual sheep's clothing to feed their ravenous wolf appetite for utter and complete global tyranny, all hiding behind the mask of love and light and spiritual subservience. The Lucis Trust is the primary mover and shaker on energetic world domination. It is the Lucis Trust where all these varied factions meet under one umbrella to energetically and cognitively subjugate humanity through smarmy religious and spiritual platitudes to seduce the masses into giving up their own personal power and cognitive sovereignty to a system of tyrannical energy manipulation that truly boggles the mind in its depravity and its lust for power. Within the structure of the Lucis Trust, you will find the Marxist Pope Francis, the Marxist Dalai Lama, every goddamn guru on the planet, every fucking Zionist televangelist, the paid talking heads on the news that daily lie to the public with the contrived Lucis Trust Fabian propaganda, the halls of Fabian-controlled academia, and the controlled puppets we think are politicians. Every one of them dances to the tune of a 6,000-year-old agenda contrived by the inorganic hierarchy of tyrants in collusion with their Anunnaki and Aryan consortium allies. This is the plan of the inorganics spanning 6,000 years of energetic and cognitive tyranny, on top of which pyramid presently sits Lucis Trust, and which Alice Bailey wrote extensively about. To disempower this energetic monster, all humanity has to do is stop giving up their energies to all of these fabricated belief systems. Stop giving these tyrannical psychopaths your energies so they can steal them and redirect them to their own vile agenda through energetic manipulation. Stop feeding the beast your energies, ladies and gentlemen, and watch the monster starve for lack of energy to drive their nefarious agenda. Put your focus on freeing your Soika from such tyranny. Focus your energies on your own personal cognitive advancement and tell these tyrants to take their smarmy love and light doctrines of spiritual docility and shove them straight up their smug, tyrannical spiritual asses and take a kundalini ride into extinction. Without your energies to feed them, they lose their advantage, and then they are only people who can be dealt with. Know your enemy and their tactics. Inform yourself of their wiles and shitty deeds. Then tear down their tyrannical house in this energetic war by refusing to give up any more of your Soika and personal energy to their tyranny. Start investigating deeply into the Lucis Trust umbrella of tyranny, and you will find the real movers and shakers on this planet. Lucis Trust is the shadow government, ladies and gentlemen. You now have many of the pieces necessary to free your minds from their tyrannical manipulation, and you know how to kill the beast. The rest is up to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for taking your time to listen to Attaining the Second Cognition. It's truly appreciated. I extend my gratitude and my deepest thanks to any and to all who take the time to open their minds, search for truth, and to push forward in their own cognitive advancement and willful evolution. Once again, thank you so much. This is Doug Michael, and until next time, walk in peace.